When we go through times in life that make us question our devotion, where we tend to question the situations that we are put in, when things arise and we do not know how to react, we tend to question, why me? Right? That's the first thing that we always ask ourselves. We get angry, we get upset, we get confused. And then we tend to ask, why me? Why does this have to happen? But when situations come about, it's how we deal with them. What comes about is a matter of action, it's a matter of karma, it's a matter of time also. But how we deal with the situations that we are having to face in life, that is what is most important. The strength that we maintain, that bhakti, that devotion, that drives that faith in Bhagavan, that one day everything is going to be okay, right? Is that not so?
No.
I like audience participation. So if I ask the question, please don't feel afraid to answer yes or no. In the Bhagavad Gita, the first thing Arjuna said was to place me in the middle of the battlefield to Bhagavan Krishna. He wants to see who he's fighting, who he's up against, and who are his well-wishers, right? And seeing all of his loved ones there, good, bad, and indifferent, this Maya started to engulf him, this illusion started to engulf him, where he began to question his duty as a Kshatriya, as a warrior. Why should I have to kill all of these people? They are someone's grandparents, they are my great uncles, they are my uncles, they are my first cousins. Why should I have to do that? So much so that his mind started to now entrap him in all of these questions. Why am I having to fight all of these loved ones? Bhagavan Krishna then advised him that we are here to perform our karma, our actions. And with our actions there comes responsibilities. And your action as a Kshatriya, as a warrior, is to fight for that of which is truth, that of which is right. Eva yukta Arjuna sankhye ratupashta upavishat Vrishhriyagya sasaran chapan shoka samvigna manasat. That this grief became to overcome the mind of Arjuna, throwing aside his weapons, his gandiv, his bow, and his arrows, beginning to become frustrated with the situation. Bhagavan Krishna then turned to him and said, sitting there and giving up everything that you have is not going to bring you to heaven. It is not going to make the noble man respect you. It is not going to help the situation that you are in. And it's not going to help dharma. Ustava nidhang vishwamesam upashritam anarejushyam aswargyam akirtikaram arjunam that this behavior that you behold now, Arjun, this grief and this maya, this illusion that you have in your mind, is shunned by great men. By great men, that this attitude that you behold is not respected. It will not bring you to heaven. It will not help you. It will not make the situation any better. And thus, Bhagavan Krishna begins to recite the Bhagavad Gita and the different forms of karma, the different forms of action, the different forms of bhakti, the different types of yoga that man should perform. But what I'm going to emphasize on this morning, again, I'm not going to take too much of anyone's time. I'm going to speak up to 45 minutes to an hour. But the topic I'm going to emphasize on today is that of bhakti, of devotion. With Arjun feeling so agitated and this grief and Bhagavan Krishna having to console him, when we go through situations, as I earlier said, we question, why do we have to do this? Why do we have to go through certain things in life? Does God test our faith? Does God just want to punish us because? What have I done wrong? And what happens? We mentally shut down. We lose all sight of the end. Right? If we give up at the beginning, how can we fight for a good ending? If we give up in the beginning of a situation, something arises, and you stop right there, and you say, I cannot go any further because I cannot handle this. Is that going to make you move any further than what you have already gone to? That's going to leave you in the same situation that you're in. Sometimes tend to dig yourself even deeper into the hole, because you're now engulfed by grief. Your mind is shut down. You lose sight of all that is practical. And that is what Arjun was doing. He was losing sight of the greater good that could have came about this Mahabharata war. And one thing Bhagavan Krishna emphasized on, irregardless of what the situation is, we must never lose faith in Bhagavan. We must never lose faith in that of which is good. We must never lose devotion at the time that we feel like we are being questioned, because guess what happens? We lost immediately. We've given up before we were even starting to fight. Had Arjun stopped right there and tell Bhagavan Krishna, I cannot go any further, how it should come about? Right? And when we have this devotion, it drives us to believe that good things can happen, that one day we will see a light in the situation. You know, the Ramayana tells you, Ishwaran Sajiva Vinasi. Inside each and every one of us, there is a spark of the Lord. Inside each and every one of us, there is an Atma, Jivatma, the individual soul that is the form of the primordial energy, the Paramatma. So why are we losing faith in God if we're all a part of Him? Bhakti, devotion is what drives us. The faith that we have in God is what drives us through situations. When you take this word bhakti, bhakti means devotion, but when you take the word yoga, yoga words from this, it derives from the Sanskrit root, yuj, meaning to join together. Yukta, to join together. So you take this word yoga, it is now Bhakti Yoga, it is the mind, the consciousness of the Jivatma, of the individual soul joining now with that Paramatma. You're not doing yoga because you see people doing it on TV. You're not doing yoga because you want to feel relaxed. This is the yoga that is bringing you to that primordial consciousness. When you take your time and you do prayers, you do your jandi, you do jag, even when you come to Mandir and you're fully felicitated on the puja that is going on, when you go home, you don't feel nice? You know why? Because that is your mind focusing onto the Lord. And that is developing a connection with Bhagwan. And Goswami Tulsidas beautifully explains to us how we can develop that connection with Bhagwan. Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama. Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama. Shri Ram Shivani Mata was a disciple of Matanga Rishi. And her guru had said one day, God will come to your door. And every day she would go, clean the path of her home, decorate it beautifully with flowers, make sure that it was clean so that when God comes, it would be clean. She would go, she would pick the fruits from the tree, the berry. And what she would do, she would see which one is the sweetest by biting it. And whichever one was not sweet, she would throw it aside because it was not good enough. And insinuating all of this, the rishis and the munis would walk by And they would begin to ridicule her. Would say, you know, someone low like yourself, and low lady, God will not come to your door. Why are you bothering, wasting your time cleaning your place? You think God is going to come to visit you? She continued her business. For ages this had went on. And then one day, while decorating Bhagwan Ram and Bhaya Lakshman, searching for Mother Sita, I ended up at the ashram of Sewari Mata. And the first thing she asked is, how can I behold you? How can I receive you in such a manner? Adam te Adam Adhamati Nari. I'm the lowest of the low. And I am the most ignorant of the ignorant. How can I behold you? Ram, Siya Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Ram,
Siya Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Ram, Siya Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Ram, Siya Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Pahar upati suno amni bata. Pahar upati suno amni bata. Manav ek bhakti karnata.
Siya Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Siya Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Pati pati फूल करम बढ़ाई पाती पाती फूल धर्म बढ़ाई जन पल परी जन मुन कटुराई
Siya Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Siya Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Bhagwan Ram, look at Sewari. Seeing the humility in her eyes, with this steadfast devotion, despite the ridicule, despite what others were saying, despite everything else outside of her heart, she continued to dedicate herself to Bhagwan by decorating this path. By calling herself the lowest of the low, she has humbled herself in front of Bhagwan. And Bhagwan, hearing this, he said, "Oh foolish lady, who said that you are the lowest?" He said, "Listen to me. I do not discriminate against hierarchy, who is higher in society. I don't discriminate as to who your kinship is, who is your family. I don't care about how strong you are. I don't care about how strong a person is or how wealthy they are. That is not what matters to me. What matters to me is what is in the heart and the mind of my devotee, that of who recollects me." And Bhagwan Ram continued to preside the 9 forms of devotion to the mind of Sewari Mata. but I would like to emphasize on simply three. The first one is developing a fondness of the kathas that Bhagwan has provided us to read and to enjoy. It's nice to come to Yajna. It's nice to go to a Chandi. Right? It's even nicer whenever they're singing and you see Panditji or you was dancing, you enjoy yourself, right? You don't come to see who is wearing what story is going on in somebody else's life. You don't go to Mandir or you don't go to somebody's puja for that. Because if you do that, that is what you call kusang. That is what you call a sanghat, a gathering of tamasic qualities, that of which is destructive, that of which is not pure. The second one is the gathering of truth, satsang. When you're in the accompaniment of saints, saints not being those sadhus with the jata on their head, saints being those of good and wholesome qualities, those of which will be beneficial in a positive manner, that will bring enlightenment to our minds, to Bhagwan. And the third one is very important. Praying without deception. When we pray with a clean heart and a clean mind, without looking for anything from Bhagwan. Sri Radhe Govinda Gopala Tera Pyara Naam Hai. Sri Radhe Govinda Gopala Tera Pyara Naam Hai. Pyara Naam Hai, Tera Pyara Naam Hai. Pyara Naam Hai, Tera Pyara Naam Hai. Radhe Govinda Gopala Tera Pyara Naam Hai.
Radhe Govinda Gopala Tera Pyara Naam Hai.
द्रौपदी ने जब तुम्हें पुकारा सारी रात बहारी। द्रौपदी ने जब तुम्हें पुकारा सारी रात बहारी, सारी रात बहारी। दान देने कोई कहे मुहावे मीरा बाई, मुहावे मीरा बाई।
Radhe Govinda Gopala Tera Pyara Naam Hai.
Radhe Govinda Gopala Tera Pyara Naam Hai। Bhagwan ki jai। During the Mahabharata, after Raja Yudhishthir built the kingdom of Indraprastha, they decided to hold the yajna. And at the end of this yajna, there was an attendee by the name of Shishupal, who was the cousin of Bhagwan Krishna, and was blessed by Bhagwan Krishna that after 100 lies or 100 untruthful actions, that is when he will die. So Shishupal, being an attendee, seeing Bhagwan Krishna so high up, placed amongst the great kings, he said, how can a Gwalin, how can a cowboy go and sit down next to all these kings when he grew up on farms and inside villages? He didn't grow up in a kingdom. What is he doing sitting there? Bhagwan Krishna simply let Shishupal talk. And after the 100th untruthful action, Bhagavan Krishna, with the power of his chakra, beheaded Shishupal. And as he went to go through the chakra, he cut his finger. And Draupadi, seeing Bhagavan Krishna bleeding, she took a piece of her sari at the end and began to bandage the finger of Bhagavan Krishna. And Bhagavan Krishna told her that, O Devi, O Divine Lady, that one day I too shall repay this favor to you. And I'm not going to emphasize too much because I know one of my Vyasadis here, he had spoken this katha briefly. But when the day came now, Raja Yudhishthir and the Pandavas in the Kul Sabha in the family gathering were playing a game of dice against the Kauravas. And whilst they were playing, they began to play dice and they were gambling. That's what the kings used to do. They had 3 sports: hunting, gambling, and then also going to war. They call that a sport. So Yudhishthira already bet everything that he had. All the wealth, the chariots, the elephants, everything. So Duryodhana asked, what are you going to bet now? In the heat of the moment, he bet his 4 other brothers and himself. Then when he had nothing else to bet, he then placed a bet on his wife Draupadi. And said, she is going to be a dasi, she's going to be a slave just like the rest of us. Not realizing that this is what was going to happen. You see what happens when we make decisions in the heat of the moment? You pachtai, you begin to repent, you begin to realize that what you did was wrong. So now, you begin to vilap kare, you begin to, in your mind you begin to become confused and very convulsed on these ideas. And they begin to make you upset, they begin to make you sad. That happens to us, right? When we think back on certain thoughts. These thoughts sometimes when you get too intense, they throw you off. That is why one should not make a decision in the heat of the moment. And while betting Draupadi, Duryodhana ordered Dibala Dushasan to go and bring her. But first he sent the messengers. The messengers tried to go and bring her to the Sabha. That didn't work. So then, at the end, Dushasan went himself. And how did he do that? By dragging her by her hair. Pull her into the Sabha. And you know where men are, the old custom was when there's a gathering of men, women are not supposed to be around, right? That was the old traditions. That when you have a family gathering of men, it is inappropriate for women to be a part of that. And she had not taken her ritual bath. She had not put on clean clothes yet. She was not pure. She was not physically pure. But still, she was dragged to the Sabha. And then she began to beg all of the elders in the family. And she said to the Dronacharya that you are so wise and that you are so eloquent in your words. You are the teacher of all of these Pandavas. Why don't you tell them and the Kauravas to stop this game right now? That somebody's honor is at stake. Simply bowed his head and turned away. Then she went to Bhishma Pitama, the grandfather of the Kauravas and the Pandavas, and said, you were supposed to be the elder in the family. What is going on here? The blind king can't help me. He cannot stop them. That's his sons that are playing. What will you do for me? I need your help. Bhishma Pitama simply looked down with tears in his eyes. He looked away. Then she realized